Hello and welcome to another video here on DAX Wednesdays. In today's video, we're going to have a look at not one but 5 DAX functions which all belong to the parent and child family of DAX functions. These are path, path length, path item, path item reverse, and path contains. Although these are 5 different DAX functions, I would just like to mention this that there is a dependency among them. You cannot use, for instance, path length, path item, and the other two alone. You need to have a DAX function path already used in your data model in order to tap into these 4 DAX functions. Now, what's the use of these DAX functions? We are going to switch Power BI for the demo. So here in Power BI, we have a data model already ready. We're going to use an example from the world of football. Have 2 columns, entity and parent entity. So if we have an entity such as UEFA, it has a parent entity of FIFA. So this is a graphical representation of the different levels or hierarchy between the different football federation or confederations at the continental level or the national level and so on. So for instance, FIFA is the global governing body under which we have different confederations such as AFC, which belongs to the Asian Football Confederation. Then we have UEFA for the European one. And underneath UEFA, we have the French Football Federation and so on. We have also added a 4th level to this hierarchy. For instance, Australia has different departments such as New South Wales, Tasmania, etc. We can make an analogy of, let's say, the managerial hierarchy in your company or even the parental lineage. For instance, if we, instead of FIFA, we have grandfather, the level below will have either the father, uncles, aunts, and below we'll have children, cousins, etc. So this is an analogy that we can make from looking at this particular diagram. Now we're going to have a look at our DAX functions. Let's switch back to Power BI. So we're going to add a new column over here. We're going to use a DAX function called path. So what does path do? We're going to type in path over here as the column name. So path will take in 2 arguments. First is the ID column name, so which will be providing as the entity, and the second argument that it takes is the parent column name, which is the parent entity column. Now if we were to close this bracket and say OK, you will see Power BI or the DAX function has generated for us these values in the path column. Now what does it tell you? Each value begins with FIFA, which means it is redirecting us to, first of all, the global entity, which is FIFA. Then it's breaking down to the hierarchy. For instance, if we were to have a look at football, New South Wales Federation, first of all, we have FIFA, then we water it down to the Asian Football Confederation. We take it one level below to the Australian Football Federation, and then one more level to the New South Wales Football Federation. So right now it has retraced everything from the Football Federation of New South Wales right up to FIFA. So this is what path does for you. If this is not clear, I will show you in this visual. For instance, if we were to have the value of France in the path column, it has retraced everything from FIFA to France. So from FIFA, we go to UEFA, then UEFA to France. So this is the path that the DAX function has returned for us. If we were to have a look at, let's say, the New South Wales Football Federation. So the DAX function path has returned to us or retraced every level so that we will reach FIFA. So from New South Wales, Australia to the Asian Football Confederation, and then to FIFA, which is the global football governing body. So I hope this was clear to you, but now we're going to have a look further in detail of what we can do with the path DAX function. We'll go back to Power BI. Now we're going to use a second DAX function, which is path length. We're going to click on new column over here, put in the column name as path length like this. We'll search for the path length DAX function. So as I said earlier, the remaining DAX functions and this parent and child DAX function family, they have a dependency on the first DAX function that we saw, which is path. So the path length only takes in one argument, which is path. So over here, we need to provide the path column name from confederations table. Now let's see what does this return us. So path length, it will return us the length of the elements that we observe in our path, the length of the hierarchy to be precise. So for instance, for FIFA, we have only FIFA in its path. So it's just one element, or we're only talking about one level of the hierarchy. If we want to go and look down for football New South Wales, we will see we have 1, 2, 3, 4 hierarchy levels included in its path. So this is an interesting DAX function that we can use, which is at our disposal once we have created this path column. We're going to take it one step further. Now we're going to have a look at the third DAX function, which is path item. So what does path item do? It will return to you an entity or the name of the entity at one particular level in its path. So for instance, if I want to have the names of all the football governing bodies at the country level or the national level, I just only need to precise the position, the hierarchy position or the hierarchy level in the path. So it will return to me all the football federations at the national level from our data set. So over here, let's put in the first argument, which is once again confederations path. If you remember, we have a dependency on the path column path measure. Over here, in order to get the national governing bodies, we need to put in the position number 3. And if we have to close this, you will see it has returned to us all the values which we observe in the path which are at the third position. Now, why are these the first 6 rows blank? Because we don't have a third position or third hierarchy level mentioned in the first 6 rows. So that's why it has returned to us blank. But wherever we have a national football governing body, it has returned to us those elements. So for the final 4, we have the Australian football governing body at the national level for the final 4. We can take it one step further. Instead of DAX returning us the third place position from the left, we can also have, let's say, the third place position from the right. How we can do that is by using path item reverse, which will be our fourth DAX function. So as we did for path item, it returned us the third entity from the left. Now with path item reverse, we will try to recover the third entity from the right. One more time, put in path and third, but this time around we'll get different result. So over here you can see the third entity from the right is FIFA. The third entity from the right is 1, 2, 3 AFC. And once again, we don't have any values returned for the top 6 rows because we don't have 3 entities or 3 levels in the path mentioned. So this is another interesting DAX function that you can use in your data model whenever you are working with path or the parent-child hierarchy. The last DAX function from this family of parent and child function is path contains. So unlike the other 4 DAX functions that we just saw, path contains will return to us a boolean that is either true or false. The first argument, once again, it is path. Over here, we're going to ask for the item. So what DAX function is asking us, which item do you want to search in the path? So let's say if I had to search for, or let's say AFC. So if I had to search for AFC, that is the Asian Football Confederation in the path, DAX will return the values as true wherever it finds AFC in the path column or the path values. So for instance, over here we have true because we have AFC in the path, whereas in the first we don't have AFC, so it's returning as false. We don't have AFC in this row, FIFA, CONMEBOL, and Argentina, so it has returned as false. Whereas the final 4 rows, we can see it has given us returned as true because AFC belongs in the path. So this was a demo for these 5 parent and child functions. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I will see you in the next video.